Just went for a walk here. It's this summer's been really rainy and stuff. So you have so it's looking more like a jungle than the previous years. But anyways, I wanted to talk about some Bible verses, 2 Corinthians 13, and I usually take my laptop and I have the whole, take my iPod and I have the whole King James, I have the whole audio Bible in my iPod, and I play it on shuffle, so that so I have many songs, and sometimes a Bible verse comes in. So this was 2 Corinthians 12. And I just want to talk about for a while, because thorn, because it has some parallels with my life even. So he's talking about Paul said that he was caught up into third heaven, and then like after that it's after that he kind of says it's paradise. So that's interchangeable, third heaven and paradise. So anyway, so he says that, and he said, like, I heard unspeakable words, or he's referring to someone else, I guess. He says, I knew a man in Christ who was caught up into third heaven, and then he says to paradise. He paraphrases it with paradise, and he heard unspeakable things which are not lawful for man to utter. Now, this sounds really interesting. And then he also mentions whether in the body or out of the body, I don't know. God knows. That's basically what he's saying. But interesting, it parallels with my own experience in my life, where I was, caught up to heaven as well. I mean, I had I told you about my experience in New Zealand, and so I just wanna, but I don't know if I mentioned in that video that actually, I was in a coma for a while, because then I woke up at the hospital, and I started screaming words. I don't remember exactly word for word what it was, but it felt like it was not me who was speaking those words. So in other words, and Paul is, in this chapter he's saying like he was, that he's speaking those words, he's hearing words that are not lawful for man to utter. I guess it doesn't have any, because I was screaming those words, and it felt like I'm not the one who's saying them, because I just woke up screaming, from coma, or I think, because after the car crash, I remember like being, all bleeding and stuff. Still, they were getting me out of the car, and then I passed out because they put, I'm sure I passed out because I don't remember like being in the ambulance. So I just woke up at the hospital, and so it's interesting. And what I screamed, or it wasn't, not really a scream, but it was pretty loud. The doctor says, like, ranting about Saturn and or serpent and Jesus Christ. So this is what they said I was talking about or ranting after I woke up from the coma, right? So I think it's interesting, and actually I met another person in the hospital, and she was like, I had a car crash, and when I also screamed, Megadeth lyrics, which mine was mostly from the band Tool, the lyrics. So it was the song, I think, The Garage, and the song called H, as the letter H. Now, that's why I named myself Joseph H, like on my email or whatever. It's just sunset right now. But it's really cool that she had also a similar experience. This woman I met in the hospital, and so I just oh yeah, and after the heaven kind of disappeared, the heaven feeling, and the feeling of invincibility, and I didn't feel the pain. And that's why I was relating to this band Tool a lot back then, because they had lyrics like, we are eternal and we are immortal, and all this pain is an illusion, right? But then, after some time, I already felt the pain again, and I became sick, and it was getting worse since 2010 until now. So, or actually even before that, but it was getting more worse after 2010 and 12. And and regarding this chapter, 2 Corinthians 12, that Paul says also that, like, he had a thorn in the flesh, and he says, like, I have infirmities, which basically means like sicknesses, suffering, and I will glory with these, like, so there is a parallel between that chapter and my life, because he says, he was caught up to heaven, and then he got the suffering, thorn in the flesh. It's referred to infirmities, and he says, like, and weaknesses, and I will glory in these. So I have the same thing. I suffer pretty much, every day since I lost that, that heaven back in 2008. So, and he also says, like, when I am weak, then I am strong. So I think, in this chapter there's a little bit of comfort, for me, because he but anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about, this parallel with this chapter and my own life experience. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to share this with you, and also, nice sunset here, and just went for a walk. Show you the landscape here. All right. So yeah. Okay.